Get off the sidelines and take control of your financial future at www.tackletrading.com. Get in the game.
Report for the first week of January 2016. Here, wishing everybody a happy new year, you pro members of Tackle Trading. Hopefully this is a banner year in your financial investing and your learning and your cash flow and everything else. Got a lot of things coming for you pro members this year. Different systems, rent systems, LMS systems. We're gonna put the personal gold system. We got a environmental hedging system, the Tackle 25 covered call system. We got other systems coming out this year, and I'm just looking forward to another banner year at Tackle, and with all you amazing pro team members over there at Tackle Trading as well. Well, this is stock report. The first thing I want to talk about really in the stock report this week is it's all about preparation. Before we get into preparation, let's talk about kind of that we did not get. Historically speaking, we usually get a little bit of an uptick in December. It's usually market, but here's the 1st of December right here, and really the 1st of December was the last of it, and then it kind of just dropped down from there, down about that's on the month so far, right around a 4% decrease in value. That's a make or break for a year, and this obviously ended on a sour coming into the tail end of 2015, with the last day of the trading day ending right around 15 points underneath the 2015 podcast last year. So I might nailed that call there. But outside of that, we're looking at a marketplace that is showing a lot of weakness in my estimations. So I do kind of favor the Bears team this week in the market. However, when I'm looking at the week, we got a big week in the market. You had a couple speeches today from Mr. from the FOMC. Tomorrow on Monday, you have a manufacturing report. We'll pull up for factory right here. Tomorrow you have the manufacturing report. Forecast for recessionary territory 49.1. Then on Wednesday we get trade balance. We get the unemployment report starting in. ISM FOMC meeting minutes, huge meeting minutes coming out of Fed on January 6th, and then the unemployment rate coming out on Friday. So this is a really economic week this week. Calm before the storm, before we get into some earnings data out there. I'm expecting a lot of volatility this week, to be perfectly honest. January is a very important month for the outcomes of the year. If you're just looking at ES here, we're going to switch this to a weekly chart. We're going to track kind of the last few January. We're just looking since the end of since really kind of the bull market started in 2009 here, and so here's the month of January coming in 2009 down there. Down a month, slightly up on the year in 2009. 2010 January up and ended right slightly down on 2010, coming into 2000 and that's 2000. If we're looking at back this again, this is 2009. So that 2010, 2011 down. Just like if I'm tracking these January open to 2000 and 2009, you're really looking 2009 to 2010. It was kind of convergent a little bit in terms of the January versus the rest of the year. 2010, I'm looking at up, ended slightly down, just slightly down. That was divergent as well in January. The next year was up and up. The next year up and up. Next year slightly down and up. So 2000 was similar. 2012 was similar, and 2013 was divergent. And coming in 2014 right here, it was 2015 here. Okay. Similar. So, not a whole lot of accurate data in terms of January these last few years, but if we track this back to the modern markets in the 1920s, it is fairly That's just this year. I'm looking at January being just a barometer for how the market feels about 2015. 2015 was the most difficult years we've had in the marketplace, in terms of, not in terms of just overall price movement, but in terms of volatility, in terms of the news, in terms of the information, in terms of all the different happenings out there that were drivers of the market, from the Fed to China to quantitative easings to the currencies markets, the volatility there. I mean, to mergers and acquisitions. We did a podcast about what kind of drove the market in 2015. Check it out over there at Tackle Trading or on iTunes. But it was really, really kind of a difficult year from a news perspective, information perspective, trading perspective. And so I'm looking for 2016 to be similar to that, quite frankly, as we kind of see the volatility kind of smooth itself out there in the market. So, but let's look at now this week in the market. I do see some downward pressure in the stock market. The market is open right now, and we are down 0.4%, opened up down about 7.75% on the futures market. And if you look at the minute chart, you'll kind of notice that when the marketplace opened this afternoon, you've seen an uptick in price up until about the 2042, and then it's been trading ever since then. So you're off now from trading down 2016 up to Sunday night. The marketplace of just the price action, and now on stock report. We got a lot of stuff coming through very quickly. Nothing can be only if you personally would feel comfortable getting in. You don't want to buy when it's going downward moving in price. You don't want to try to pick bottom. You don't want to get filled as the market is going up. The rule of thumb that I like to do is 10 ATR above the high of the day. So here on Alaska, if I'm just looking at this price here, I'm looking at the current market price. About $80.51, support level right around $80, and the high of the day is right around $81.40, $81.45. So the ATR is $2.10. So $2.10 is 21 cents. 21 cents above the high is where I'd be looking to get filled, which would be 81.66. And so when I'm talking confirmation on retracements, I'm talking confirmation is 10% of the ATR, high on a bull trade, below the low on a bearish retracement. And then there's different ways on breakouts. Like, for example, Tesla Motors here, another one on the Tesla Motors here is another one on the scouting on the Bulls team this week. Is I like it from a breakout perspective. You got a real good resistance level between 235 and 237. It's breaking out on top. That's already broken out. So if I was looking to get into Tesla, I'd be looking to get in at a level either above the high, or I would drop it down into some intraday information. For example, it would be important to get it above the high because intraday you have an M formation there. So in terms of the reports, guys, we're just going to look at the stocks on the list that I put together for the stock report this week, but confirmation is key on every single one of these. You cannot get into a trade. Let me say this as clear as day. You cannot get into a trade without proper execution, proper confirmation in terms of the upwards or the downward movements in price. So on with the show here. The next stock on the list is ARMMK. I like this tile. I don't like it in terms of the amount of volume, but I like it in terms of the upward movement price versus the downward movement price, and a lot of slowing momentum in a buy zone here between support levels at 31.90 and with that slowing momentum. Narrow body candles after this retracement, that is typically a good sign. Little concerned about what was going on here on this day, as I do not actively trade this stock, so I'd like to do a little research into that. The next one on the list is Costco standard bullish uptrend. You do have some slowing momentum on the trend in terms of resistance to resistance to resistance, and a little bit of a trouble right here at 163.5. You couldn't get into it unless it breaks back up above that level, but still a buy zone in a bullish uptrend at support level in a massive company like Costco. You could do worse than that. EDU, new education Techcom. This is something that I wanted to put on the list, but it's not really. It's kind of coming downward moving price. Some downward movement in price. Once it slows its momentum and it's starting to be here, we don't have the last 3 months. Look for the $30, a retracement to $30 with an upward movement in price combination after that. That we got from a trader but even if it doesn't do that, if I get some type of upward movement in price, this could be a pretty good opportunity on a stock that I don't know a whole lot about, but I found a scan. It looked technically in a marketplace that was not like BTA. This is a breakout few in the market today. Resistance 33.75, and we're looking at a high base pattern. Tell, like I said, you do far worse. Great bullish pattern, continuation pattern, forming a high base, punching into resistance in a marketplace that is doing what it's doing. Right, upward movement in price above 33 cents is where I'm looking at on NVIDIA. Next stock on the list, NUAN. NUAN, bullish uptrend with the retracement. Really kind of $90 range, as you can see, just looking at this price here. Really kind of slowing it. Don't love it. Wouldn't do it unless we got upward moves of price above plus underneath 20. Very small risk on a stock that has had quite a bit of momentum recently. ERS. Love the stock, VeriSign right now. Bullish uptrend, bullish retracement into the buy pattern. Probably would not get into anywhere upwards above 89.36, ladies and gentlemen. Anywhere above this little intraday high at 89. And once again, a little tool from the pro here. Always drop it down into what's going on, and as you can see, look at that head and shoulders formation right there. Maybe you find a W formation or an inverted head and shoulders formation on the intraday. Get 489, but you gotta wait till that level or wait till it bottoms down with the bullish pattern down here. This is something we were looking at on tests when we saw the confirmation where I want to get in or get out. Definitely drop it down into lower price range just to kind of see what those day traders are looking at with their eye there. Next one is XRS. And nothing happened on the intraday. Let's look at the daily. Nice little bullish upward. Doesn't even retrace. This price action here might be this little price action on back here in October movement price. I'd be comfortable with that one. Next one, YY on the list. This is a little reverse. I love it. Just wanted to give on the stock report a few different stocks for everybody to kind of look at. Upward movement price above the high of the day at a bare minimum on a YY. I do not know the company very well. Nope, I do not know the company in any capacity. So trade as you will, but the technicals do look solid. The last one on the list here is old. This is courtesy of Coach Tim here. Great company. Everybody loves upward price. IBD top 50 stock. Looking at a additional 180. I like 1/2 of the above the high. Could creation of 190. But on Bull Team this week, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bullish teams. That doesn't mean trouble, ladies and gentlemen. A basketball team only has 5. A baseball team has 9. But if you want to form a nice little solid football team, that's 11 trades right there. On the Bear team this week, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and I could have put more out there. The Bears are definitely setting up, for a victory this week, but a lot to be played out here. First one here is on IR. Bearish downtrend on the short term, increasing momentum to the downside on the short term, coming right back up into an old area of resistance in a bear area with the confirmation ORA pressing down. That is on IR. Really like that one. Here's on Harman. Harman is the same thing. This is an inverted hammer. This is a little bit of an engulfing, a bearish Harami pattern. Regardless how you want to put it, downward movement in prices galore on this one, and pressing momentum on the downside with a nice little bearish retracement. So let me get this. I got bearish downtrend, bearish retracement, slowing momentum with confirmation. Man, as a trader, that's what I'm looking for on Harman. Don't have to really kind of think too hardly about that one. Next one is CSC, Computer Science. Huge gap to the downside. I do not trade this company. If I'm going to make this trade tomorrow, I'm going to research it first to see what in the world happened here. I don't know because, again, I don't trade the company, and I'm not fully aware of every company out there that's publicly traded unless I trade it. So I definitely look at that, but we are seeing a little bit of profit taking on the short position, retracement back up, slowing momentum, downward movement in price. Love the gap, love retracement, love the downward movement in price. This is definitely a shortable opportunity. AC is your next one. This is I wanted to put this one on the list because a couple different things. Number one, traditional reversal patterns, slowing I'm trying this is Airlines. Just did the Tackle 25. It's being published tomorrow night. Have 2 airlines on there. I was going to have 3. I had Southwest Airlines and Alaska Airlines were 2 of the finalists out there. Spirit was not one of them, and why it's not one of them. Love the bearish downward movement in prices. Love the increasing momentum to the downside. Love the retracement that was coming into the next. The only thing I really don't like about it is this is not a sell zone. This kind of neutrality here. I don't like it in terms of the retracement. What Spirit Airlines is doing right now is it's trying to figure out where it's going to play. It's trying to wait to see who's going to win the battle in the market this week, and then it's going to pick that side of the equation. It's Switzerland. It's net neutrality right now, and it's going to wait to win, and then they're going to jump on that. And what I mean by that is if it breaks out of here at 43.5, that's definitely a buying opportunity. And if it breaks down out of 39.5 opportunity, that's one to keep in mind when we're looking at a bull or a bear this week, just in case one way or the other is broken. The next one we're looking at is Archer Daniels Midland. Big bearish downtrend, great retracement, slowing momentum. Love that to the downside this week with the right thing I love about selling at resistance is your stop losses are tight. They're right above resistance, 1/2 ATR above resistance. So if I'm entering this trade, I'm parking resistance at about 15. The 1/2 of the ATR is 40 cents. 40 cents above 37.14 at 37.55 is where I'd park a stop loss there. That's why I love selling at resistance. You're not wrong by a lot, and you lose just a little bit. The next one is BG. BG has good downward moves of price, already confirmed at this 50 average. Really like that price action, especially between the 38 and 50% retracement on the prior motive wave. Love this one on the downside in terms of BG. Next one is CAR. CAR, downward bearish downtrend at resistance. we've seen a few of these. If you have to go rent a car short Avis budget, then go rent a car from Avis. It'll make you feel good about yourself. Next one on the list, GPOR. GPOR. Don't love this one. I kind of don't want it to be it, but again, the stock report is about making sure where what we're seeing in the market this week and the stocks we're looking at potentially trading. The reason I don't like this pattern right here is a little bit of a piercing line, and it shows some dominance on Friday on the last year of the trading day when the market was coming down. So be not GoPro, not GoPro. GoPOR, GoPort. But those of you who've been shorting GoPro over the last few months probably a little bit as well. Next one is NFG. NFG is National Fuel and Gas. Love this downward increasing movement on the downside. Look at your little trend line you have right here on this. Real solid trend line. Look when that trend line is broken. The boom, and then upward movement in price coming right back into that trend line. And as you can see, we're looking at moving it down. I've really liked this National Fuel and Gas downside play here coming here this week. Good technicals behind NFG. The next NFG. The next one, OKE. OKE. This is similar to the one on GPOR. I'm a little hesitant given the price action. It should have moved downward on Friday. It didn't. That always gives me a little pause. Go ahead and make a trade on that one. Next one, CMI. CMI can just absolutely butchered. Industrial sector not doing very from a manufacturing perspective. Cummins. We're going to force that. Look for that to continue this week. FF5 Networks base break at 96.5. That's FIV with the breakdown out of 96.5. And the last one on this team is WSFFIV. Low base breakdown out of 58 on WSF. Who's going to win the battle this week between the Bulls? The Bears, in terms of the marketplace, S&P 500, you're really kind of tracking resistance to 200 and support at 227. Sure, the tail end. I look for this company test that support level, which means confirmation on the Bears side should happen. But we should see some of those bulls go up to have a slight victory, maybe not a blowout. Maybe a comfortable, 8-point win this week. So good gambling. Bears controlled at the very end of the trading week. This match, Tackle Trading and the stock report. Check out all the reports, ladies and gentlemen, at Tackle Trading for you pro members. The options report with Gino Kick and Tail. The Forex report coming out tomorrow. Commodities report coming out tomorrow. And also coming out tomorrow, the 2016 edition of the Tackle 25. Looking forward to hearing all your comments on that. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments section, or better yet, and as always, if you want immediate response, that is MattJustice13. That is my handle on Twitter. So follow me at MattJustice13. So if you got question report, or whenever I sub in for the stock report, my market recap video, or my Tackle 25 that I put together, go ahead, hit me out on Twitter, and I'll respond. Thanks. Have a great week.
Get off the sidelines and take control of your financial future at www.tackletrading.com. Get in the game.